This week's douchebag. Not really so much about him as it is the fact that there's so many people around that think like him, which is scary. Basically, this guy doesn't like the smell of diesel fuel. And there are some obnoxious idiots. I made the mistake of putting Banks sticker on my truck because I had the ram air intake. I don't have a tune on it. For those of you who don't know, I drive a 2010 F350. It's a farm truck. And it's a flatbed. You know what? I'll show a picture. Cowboys. A lot of them cowboys or rednecks, whatever you want to call them. In a neighboring town, a lot of them, they have their trucks lifted, they have their truck nuts. And they have like exhaust tips that are that fucking big, I'm not kidding. And they like to try to throw black smoke on other cars. A little juvenile, a little stupid. That's fine though. Do what you want. Trucks are a little loud. I doubt most of these trucks ever even see a trailer. Whatever. So I can kind of see why some people don't like people like that. But this guy supports diesel exhaust fluid, which is basically like a really pure water and ammonia. And it mixes with the exhaust and it kind of neutralizes it. So you don't really smell the smell of diesel. What you do get is a very less pungent, but even worse smell. I don't know if you guys, any of you veterans, stand behind an M1 Abrams. That's what these trucks smell like when they have a DPF, which is a particulate filter, and it mixed with this exhaust fluid. He thinks that this is good. And he's opposed to anybody removing the exhaust system, or, filtration system. Because he doesn't like the smell of diesel. Now, really quick before I get into people like him. By the way, now would be a good time to pause. Go look at his channel and see what kind of guy he is. Okay. No, seriously, do it. Motherfucker's got money. He's a grown-ass man. Now, everything moves in this world because of diesel fuel. Jet fuel is diesel fuel. Hello, JP8. Another thing for all you veterans. Trains are all diesel now. Of course, semis are all diesel. So, I believe that's probably why the government attacked it. And because it's easy. So they used one of their SS's, the EPA. Those of you who don't know about the EPA and actually might think favorably of them, I suggest you do a little reading. They have done probably more to destroy this country than any federal government branch I can think of. I guess the executive branch. But anywho, they saw it as not only an easy target, but it would affect everything. So the average idiot will see, say, an old diesel truck and it belches out a lot of black smoke, and they get butthurt and they think, oh my god, that sumbitch is a pollutant all over the place. Well, in all reality, it's not. Not only are diesel engines inherently 30% more efficient than gas, they pollute a lot less. That black smoke you see is partially burnt fuel, which is not airborne. It might go in the air, but it settles on the ground. Remember that. I'll get back to that. So about 2008-ish, somewhere around there, the government decides I'll skip other EPA shit. I'll just go into this big plan they have to make ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel. Anybody here a chemist, botanist, falafel? What are the damages of sulfur? You know what one of the best cures for hiccups is? You take like a lit match and you dip it in water and drink the fucking water. Works pretty good. Not 100%. If we have a sick calf, like really sick, we'll take a sulfur pill and make him eat it. And sulfur absorbs a lot of the bad stuff. Oh, but people probably don't like sulfur, or think they don't like it, because it smells bad. So the government says, we have to make diesel fuel ultra low sulfur for emissions, mind you. So what does that do? Well, that costs the oil companies billions, and it raises the price of diesel. Some of you youngsters might not know that diesel used to be dirt cheap. A lot cheaper than gas. Well, those are the old days. Now, because they have to take the sulfur out, it costs more. And it's a byproduct of making gasoline, but it costs more than gasoline. Does that make any sense to you, anybody? Bill? Bill. We will get to crops. You guys know what crops are? They grow food. Food that everybody needs to eat. Well, guess what? Fertilizer companies are going to be selling more sulfur and adding more sulfur to other fertilizers because there's a big lack of it in soil. Since the government has removed sulfur from diesel fuel and muzzled them, nothing's selling on the ground, so the crops' much needed sulfur is gone. So now, not only did food go up because fuel costs more because sulfur's gone, fertilizer is going to cost more, which is going to make food go up even more. So you're paying the government to take sulfur out of something in order to pay somebody else to put it right back in. Well, you're right, not paying the government, you're paying the oil companies, but you see how government works? Real briefly, to be somewhat political, if you're a big government guy and you think government is good, go fuck yourself. You seriously need to educatimus maximus yourself-mus. So you get to this guy, bit fucking 9. He's blathering on about how diesel trucks are too loud and they stinky poo. So I leave him a comment kind of saying what I just said, that having these muzzles on these diesels is going to drive the cost of everything in your life. If you're watching this video, your life, everybody, it's going to drive the cost of everything up because it's going to make fuel. Well, they got to use more fuel, so that's more money. I don't know if this guy has a business or has ever ran a business or just has any fucking common sense. More expenses, higher prices. Huh? Oh? Look at me, I'm Warren Buffett. All because he doesn't like the smell of diesel fuel. So then you get on the mentality of way too many modern Americans that force something they like or dislike or their beliefs on others, even if it doesn't cost them money. They don't think that's bad at all. The smoking thing. Now, I know cigarette smoke, it stinks. People don't like it, it's pretty unhealthy, but it's not your fucking business. Nobody has the right to tell somebody what they can do with their business. But they got their wish. They got the stinky cigarettes removed, and it put a lot of people out of work. A lot. A lot more than you probably think. But that's one thing. That's small scale to this bullshit. The government attacking the more clean, more efficient type of internal combustion engine. A lot cleaner than gas. A lot more efficient. And they're attacking it because they could feed off the ignorance of fucks like this guy. because they don't like the smell. And they don't like black smoke coming out of the pipes. They just automatically think, well, holy shit, the world's going to end. The seas are rising. Even Obama can't fix this. And then he looks at buying a diesel truck. And he's looking at a Dodge. Which, hey, I think a diesel engine should rattle and roll and be loud. The loudest diesel on the market. What is the point of this video? Anybody? My point is, Bit 9, you're a pussy. And you don't even have the fucking balls to respond to my comment because you know I'm right. So you just hide. And hide. And say, oh, you resorted to insults. Well, you know what? You insult me that you breathe my fucking air. And there's too many idiots like you. Mind your business. Hell, whatever happened to that old saying? Not too many people do that nowadays. They're always wanting to throw their beliefs on others and worry about what other people do. I hope one day you get a flat tire and you're on the side of the highway and some rich 17-year-old douchebag in like a, I don't know, 2005 F350 with a 6-liter all jacked up with this 8-10-inch exhaust tip, pipes the shit out of you and blows black smoke all over you and your fucking Yugo. And then, if a bearded man from Port Butt, Illinois comes out of the bushes and rapes you, that wouldn't be too bad either.